today is one of those days where it's a bit harder to do the 30-day challenge because I've had to go into the office. So I did kind of have something in my head to do, which meant just sitting here in the crutch. Nice little bit of candlelight, little bit of soft lighting and all that sort of stuff. Because when I started this challenge, I did ask what people would like me to say, or, you know, is there anything you'd like to hear about? Is there anything you'd like me to do? Obviously, I'm not an acting seal or nothing like that. So I had a few ideas, and there was actually 2 or 3 people said to me, we want to hear about the motorbikes and the cars and what you got up to. And I'm not really one to go and show off about stuff like that, to be honest with you, because it's not something to show off about, because although it might sound exciting, it weren't as exciting as it sounded, to be honest with you. But we'll go for it anyway. We'll have a little chat, yeah? See what you think. Why not, I say. I'm going to mention the early days first. So we're talking about when I was a teenie. I used to do a little bit of motocross. I was never brilliant at it. I just used to enjoy doing it. I was lucky enough to have a go with Loctite Yamaha for a bit, and I kind of did okay. At that time, there was a fella called Trevor Kidd that I'd heard of. I'd seen him a couple of times, seen him at Houghton Conquest, I believe it was. Never spoke to the fella, but knew of him because he was pretty bloody handy. This is relevant to this story because something really spooky happened many, many years later, and it includes Trevor and his wife Mary, and it really is quite bizarre. So anyway, so that's just the background. I got into motorbikes when I was fairly young, had a good old laugh with it. Like I say, never going to be world champion or no shit like that, but I had a good crack. Anyway, so time moved on. In around, I guess it was 2005, 2006, something like that, I started a club called the Green Lane Crew. This is doing motorbikes, doing off-road on the Green Lane. So not motocross, not enduro as such, but riding the legal byways of the United Kingdom. Because there was a thing called the TRF, which is called the Trail Riders Fellowship, I think it was. And it was a bit gay, to be honest with you. Am I allowed to say that? You know what I mean, don't you? It's a bit limp-wristed. And we can only go out in groups of 3, and we have to, you know, blah, 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 blah. Almost like they felt guilty riding the byways of the United Kingdom, which we have a complete legal right to do so. So I started this Green Lane Crew thing. Thought I might get 3 or 4 people, you know. And that's how it started. I only actually started with 3 people. Roll on about 3 or 4 months. We had 3,000 people. We started a website. I had a website called the Green Lane Crew. And we had a thing called Pro Boards. This was before the flange book and all that, all a load of old shite. And loads, I think there was, it grew to 1,000 people on that almost instantly. It was absolutely mayhem. And of course, me being me, I'd speak my mind, and we went to a couple of these TRF meetings because there was a thing going through at the time called the NERC bill, which is basically trying to take away a good 3/4 of our green lanes. So basically we're going to have a naffle to ride on legally, and we wanted to do it legally. Just as a side note, for those who don't know about green laning, you can't just go on there with a motocross bike. It has to be a road legal bike. It has to have road legal tyres, believe it or not, and you have to be insured and MOT'd. So, you know, it's basically just a byway that's got dodgy gravel and mud and stuff. That's all it really is. So anyway, yeah, so this group did well, went to a couple of meetings with the TRF, and there's this massive one where it all went off, and I just stood up and said everything. Said, because they're all saying we can only go out in small groups. I said, well, I'm going to go out in 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 100s. And I proclaimed it, said, because we have a right to do this. Well, we had one Christmas ride out, which we did actually have near on 100 dirt bikes, or road legal, remember, off-road bikes and quad bikes. And it was snow, and it was the most amazing day ever. It really was. We featured in magazines after that and all sorts. So that's kind of where I I'm not going to say got my name, but that's where people in that industry recognise me from. So I started this group, and through that, I'm not quite sure what year it was. It must have been 2008, 2009. I was working, because I've always been a graphic designer. Okay, that's always been my mainstay. So I had my office in Markyate in Bedfordshire, Hertfordshire. And I was sitting there and I got a phone call, and there's this man called Bob Allen. Now, I'll tell you straight away, I wish I'd never fucking heard from the guy. Okay, let's just put that out there because this is relevant again. So he visited my office and said he'd seen what we'd done with all the Green Lane crew. And basically what he was after was to take me out there to Spain, because he had he had a company for first-time trail riders riding in the mountains of Spain. It was called Andalusian Trail Tours. And basically he wanted me to photograph it and come. And basically he was looking at me to get the Green Lane crew to go over there. That's the truth of it. So, of course, me thinking, going over abroad to motocross or to do green laning in the mountains. Oh, that's amazing. It sounded absolutely fantastic. So, of course, it ran away with me, didn't it? Got myself far too excited about it. And the long and the short of it is I went into business with this fella. Biggest mistake of my life. But I did go into... I don't regret doing all the dirt biking stuff and all the fun, because it was brilliant, okay? So basically, yes, I put some money into this, and we bought some full-on enduro bikes to do the same thing in the UK. So in Spain we had, but I think that we called it the Novice Tour or whatever, and then that was in Villanueva del Trabuco, and then the second one was in Competa, and this was on Beta 450 enduro bikes. Now here's the weird thing. When we set that up and I went out to Spain, have a guess who the tour guide was? Who was the one that was employed by Bob, and who obviously now by me. Yeah, it's Trevor Kidd. The fella I knew as a kid, well, didn't know, but the fella I knew as a kid kind of thing, knew of him. He was going to be the guide. And have a guess who his wife was? It was Mary Kidd, and that's someone Lee's mum worked with in the accountancy businesses. She worked with her. How mental is that? So that's a very small world, isn't it? Anyway, so that part of it. So at first it was all okay. Again, we started this English version or UK version of it around Hertfordshire. So we did Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, and then we also had tours in North Wales, South Wales and the Lake District. And I took the customers out on most of those. So I was basically the tour guide, teaching them how to do dirt biking, really. And then we also then bought a company called Dirt Drifters, which was some private land where we had obviously taught people how to ride dirt bikes. We had rage buggies. We had an Apache buggy where I did basically I shit the life out of people in this dirt buggy. Basically, it did 0 to 60 on the dirt in about 5.5 seconds. It was absolutely crazy. It was brilliant fun. So yeah, and I actually beat, there's a guy that used to own it. He was a TVR test driver, and I beat his lap time. I pissed on it. So, you know, that I'm calling my own praises there now. Anyway, so that was all cool as well. So we had all this stuff going on, and it was wonderful. It felt brilliant. We had loads of customers there. I was doing marshalling stuff, teaching out people how to ride quads and getting in arguments all the time. You know, I'm a mouthy git, so I was good for that job. Did well in it. But what I'm going to show you now, when we went over to, this is another thing about Spain. The lady of the boat did her motorbike test. And within a few days, we were in Spain and she was on the dirt bikes. And we went, she rode the competition enduro bikes better than she rode the little CRF 230s, which were the beginners bikes. Well, I'm going to show you a little clip of Lee on it now. So have a watch of this. And there will be a link to the full video called Journey South below. Okay, and please watch it. It's about nearly 40 minutes long. And you can tell it's me. I was a gobshite back then. I'm still a gobshite now. So go and have a little watch of that after this. Okay, so here's the clip anyway.
It's like being at the top of the fucking crest to run. Ready?
One. Am I far enough back?
You just, yeah. Oh, God, Christ, you come back any more and you suck me out.
Hey.
All right? So just let the brake go.
Yeah, in a minute.
Don't try not
No,
to
come on,
touch
after
the brake all the way
three.
down.
After three, you go in, Lee. Ready?
Some momentum, all right?
After
And then
three.
brake when you get to the flat bit, all right? Ready?
1, 2, 3,
Brake off.
go.
Foot on the peg. All right, now brake.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, because that's quite cool, wasn't it? So again, everything was quite hunky-dory, and then things started going quite bad. I can't go into everything, but the people we had working for us in Spain were lovely people. The novice tour changed a couple of times, the guides, and my business partner Bob kept trying to shut it down. I just fought for these lads to keep their jobs excuse me, as hard as I could. They don't know this. He wanted to shut it all down. There was a lot of dodgy stuff going on that I found out about, and I thought, I don't know what I've got myself into here, but I actually did trust the fella. Then we started having issues with the bikes in Spain, and I as I say, I can't say them for legal reasons, but I wish I'd never got into it. And then I found out that this bloke was an absolute fucking snake, because I think it was 2012. I thought the best thing for the company to keep it going, because I still believed that people needed somewhere to go and play on their dirt bikes and learn how to drive off-road with buggies and all that sort of stuff. I thought it was a good thing and great fun thing. And I thought the best thing for me to do was step out of it. Okay, cut my losses. I lost thousands of pounds. This is not why we're living on a boat, but let's put it this way. I lost everything in reality. And I'm not looking for sympathy, so don't go there. I'm just telling you what happened. And this fucker tried to rip me out of even more. We loaned so much money. Myself and my mother loaned the company a hell of a lot of money, and we found out in the end that these were directors' loans. I don't even know what that was. I'm sure some of you out there know, and you think, you naive twat, Paul, what on earth was going on? So basically that was all written off when I left, and because this fucker wouldn't play ball. He took my quad, he took all sorts of stuff. I'll be honest with you, all right, and I shouldn't say this on YouTube, I was ready to go and unalive him, and I'm not joking. It was probably one of the lowest points in my life, certainly my working life. And it was actually my father, and I wouldn't say I get on with my father. I mean, I love my dad, don't get me wrong, but I don't talk to him that much. But this particular time I did. And he said, Paul, you go there, you're in prison. He says, I can't help you. And he begged me not to do it. So I didn't do it, but I was very close to. I wanted him gone because of what he was doing to me. My wife even stayed on for a couple of months to help him sort out the accounts and the books and all that sort of stuff, and all the office stuff, to teach him how to do it. And he absolutely shut down on us. So that's why I'm a bit bitter with that. But something very strange happened, almost like karma. So for me, something to lift me back up, because they were deep and dark days, let me tell you. 2012 I left, or 2011 I think, towards the end of 2011. 2012, I got an email saying that we were selected, or I was selected, to go and compete in America in the Eco Rally Challenge. So it's basically a hybrid car to go and do rallying. Not rallying as you think rallying is. In reality, all it was see how much fuel you can save. So really not me, is it? But anyway, so yeah, so that was cool. Now people think that's amazing that me and Lee represented Team GB. I've got a little secret for you. Do you know how that happened? It happened because I was playing a game on my iPhone, which is called Think Blue. And because I did well on it, somehow they just chose me to go and take part in this rally, because the people who'd won the UK version of it dropped out. So I was Lee and I were kind of the backup, I'll tell you. So, which was awesome. So we were really lucky because we travelled out club class, British Airways, 747, top deck, which is, I love planes. As if you watch the vlogs, you know I absolutely love planes. So yeah, and me being me, I'm a bit of a charmer, you know. on the way out, there was this lady right up there serving us, and because I'm a bit of a cock, you know, we got so much free champagne, it was unbelievable. She just kept coming and filling, and you know, you know what I'm saying. Let me tell you about the journey back in a minute. That's even funnier. But anyway, so we went out there, did this eco challenge, and of course, there's one particular day. You knew I was never going to win this, by the way, because we're supposed to be saving fuel. There was one day we was going down. We flew out to San Francisco, and we had to drive down the coast to Los Angeles. And around halfway, I mean, we got beautiful hotels and everything. I have to say, this is Volkswagen, by the way. They treat us so well. And I actually forgot to tell you that, because obviously I didn't believe this email came through, so we'd won this trip to go and represent Team GB. So obviously I know a bit about tech and stuff, so I traced the email. It came out from Wolfsburg, yeah. And that is where Volkswagen was. So I started thinking, this is legit. So, well, it was legit, obviously, so it happened. So anyway, back to the story. There was one little bit where I was going down, and I was so bored with the driving, because we was doing like 30-40 mile an hour on this wonderful mountain pass, and there was others in this challenge that were just coasting down there, and I thought, this is so boring. So guess what I did? I nailed it and overtook about 7 or 8 cars. Bugger that, I said. Yeah, it didn't do well, but it didn't matter. It was brilliant. Anyway, so that was an amazing thing. And the lovely thing I would say, and which is probably a life-changing experience for me and Lee, was they said to us we can stay in the US as long as we want, and they'll arrange the flights to go back whenever at our convenience. So we stayed a few more days, and we booked an apartment on Venice Beach. Oh my God, what a laugh we had there. What a laugh we had there. And obviously my sort of thing, musicians there, nutters, druggies. Oh, what a crack. So anyway, so that I felt was kind of karma for everything that had happened previous with Trail World and Andalusian Trail Tours. So that was brilliant. Lee just did a pump. Stop. I forgot to tell you about the journey back. I've had to interrupt this video to tell you about my journey back, because it's really important. From America, of course, we're talking about. So back on the 747, club class, up top deck. And on the way back, obviously on the way there, we had this lovely lady serving us and being lovely. On the way back, it was a fella. But I'm into watches, right? And this fella had a beautiful watch on. So, of course, me being me, I started chatting him up about his watch. So, and can I touch it? Can I look at it? And all that sort of stuff. And I think he might have liked me a bit too much, right? So again, we were fed shitloads of champagne on the way back. It was absolutely brilliant. Lee loved it, because she was obviously getting loads as well. And then at the end of the, I think it was it just before we landed, he came to us and said, here's a bottle of champagne for you. If you're stopped going back through customs, just say that I poured some on you and this was compensation. I can be camp when I want to be, put it that way. But I ain't going to suck his dick. Anyway, let's carry on. So obviously we came home, and that's kind of it really. That's where the car thing comes into it. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I still love my dirt bikes. I kind of miss having them. I'm glad I did everything I did. I'm glad Lee got involved in it and had some fun on those dirt bikes. I think we'll end this one with some photographs, show you with me and Lee in Spain. Because as I say, although it ended bitterly, I'm still glad we did it. Still glad we did it. But we haven't ever recovered from the financial strain of that one, to be honest with you. So I'll say goodbye to you all now, and we'll see you the same time tomorrow. Please subscribe, like, and all that sort of stuff. And we'll end this with a little bit of music and a few photos of our time playing in cars and bikes. Thanks for watching. Same time tomorrow. Bye.